If you've been thinking about updating your journal and planner system, you want to revamp things, or you want to get into journaling and planning, here is how you can create a system that works for you. In this video, I will walk you through how I create a system that is manageable, effective, and that I can keep up with. And obviously, I will guide you through how you can analyze your needs, what you want, and what you want to include in your journal and planner system, and how to organize yourself so that you can create a system that works for your needs and your lifestyle. Hello, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sepe and I share with you simple and practical tips to live a happier life. And journaling and planning is one of those easy and amazing tools that I use every single day on my personal growth journey, on helping me achieve goals and just create a more grounded and happier life. And that is what I like to share with you on my YouTube channel here. So I'm so happy that you are here. And in this video, I really wanted to walk you through how you can think through in a logical way what journals and planners to include in your lineup so that you can be thoughtful about how you want to use each journal and that you actually end up using them, because it's easy to get caught up in getting new journals, new pens, new stationery, but I want you to make use of what you have or to think through what you want before you dive into it. This will also make it a lot easier for you to keep up with because each journal will have a very specific purpose, so it will be very clear for you when you sit down to journal or to plan what journal and what planner to pull out. But of course, if you find that you're unable to keep up with it, or you're not enjoying your system or your journaling and you're just not using them after a little while, then I would encourage you to maybe go back to the drawing board and reassess. It's okay to change how you approach things as time progresses, as you notice what works, what doesn't work. It's an opportunity to always change things to make your planner and journal system work for you and to help support your life. So I created this beautiful little spread for you to give you a little bit of a visual, and you can do this along with me as well. I wanted to walk you through what your current system is, if you have one, or if you don't, then that's okay. It still can help you think it through a little bit more, what your needs are in terms of what you think you want to use your journals and planners for, and then from there we can create a system to organize what each journal and each planner will be used for. And as I walk you through this little guide here, I will also share with you my current system, my general needs, and moving forward, the system that I plan on using next year as well. That way it can give you a little bit of an idea of how I look at things, analyze things, and to give you an idea of what you might want to use your journals and planners for in your system. So if you're ready, let's get into it. So the first thing that I want you to do is just to do a quick little summary of your current planner system. So the different journals and planners that you already have in your lineup and what you use them for. What are the needs that you thought you would have for each of them, and the general likes and dislikes of your system, what's working, what's not working, and some thoughts that you might have. So let me just talk you through how I analyze this and how I can look at my system. So right now I have an A5 bullet journal. I have a Hobonichi Cousin that I use for planning. And I have this Midori journal as well that I have in my lineup. And I have a black bullet journal. I have a few more, but I also didn't want to overwhelm you. I'll still talk you through a little bit more the extra little journals and planners that I have, but I do have a full video of a review of my 2023 planner. So if you want more in-depth walkthrough of what worked and didn't work, you can watch that video. But just to keep it short and concise, this is my current system. So write down what you're currently using and what are your general needs. So my bullet journal, I use it for, so this is just a quick overview. So I use it for my goals, good memories. I use it for my habits tracker. I use it to do creative spreads as well. And then I have needs for a planner system, so to organize my life. And then I'm missing a little dot here, but then the other needs that I have are to organize my business. I also have needs in terms of journaling. So whether we're talking about daily journaling, manifestation journaling, but journaling in general as well. So these are the general things that I use them for. And in general, what do I like and dislike? Well, I don't like that there are so many different journals and planners. I actually only have one planner, so too many journals. And this is, like I said, there's like 3 more that were in this lineup. I just wanted to keep the video short. So I would want my journals, I would want less journals in my new system to keep it a lot more streamlined. One thing that I have picked up and done more of by the end of this year was doing creative journaling. So this is something that I want to do more of and to include more of in my upcoming system. And the last thing about my current system that I would want to change is to have my planner and my journal to be separate. So right now I use the Hobonichi Cousin, but I feel as though I would like those to be separate just to make it a lot easier. So this is a summary of my current planner system, some of my needs and some observations that I've had. But now let's dive a little bit deeper into your current system to gain a better all over perspective of each of the journals and planners that you use, things you like and dislike about each of them. That way we can understand exactly how you want to change and how you want to improve your system. So what journal and planner do you already have and that you're using or maybe not using? What is the general use for each of them? Because this will help us categorize your needs when we're creating our system here. And then what would you change or keep for each of them? So what are the different things for each journal and planner that you like and didn't like and that you want to keep or change? So this will help us dive a little bit deeper into analyzing things. So for myself, like I mentioned, I have an A5 journal. So my it's my A5 bullet journal. What do I use it for? I use it for my monthly, yearly goals, my good memories. I use it for my habits tracker. I use it as a creative journal, so I make creative spreads as well. And what would I want to change? Well, I realized that creating a habits tracker every month is just way too much work. And at the same time, I feel that like my habits, there's some general habits that I always stick to, but on a weekly basis, I do want to adapt my habits. So making a monthly habit tracker is something that I want to change. I also want to do more creative journaling. So one thing that I want to combine is doing memories and creative journaling. So print out little pictures and do more creative spreads around my memory, kind of like scrapbooking. And at the beginning of the year, I was also doing daily journaling in my A5 bullet journal, but then I also want to stop doing that. So I'm going to write no daily journaling in this as well. So based on the A5, here are the things that I would remove, and that's it for now. So the next thing that I want to analyze is my Hobonichi Cousin. So what do I use it for? Well, this is my planner, my daily, monthly, weekly planner, and I also do it for my daily journaling. So every day I have a spread. Every day I have a spread where I have my daily planning, and then on the other side I also have my daily journaling, but I want to separate those two things. So I'm going to write that here. So I initially had started doing it in my bullet journal, and then in the year I put it in my Hobonichi as well. So I'm going to put that here as well. No daily journaling in my Hobonichi. And one thing that I would add is my brain dump. So this is something I didn't list here. Like I said, I want to keep the video short. However, I have been using a separate journal for my brain dumps. Like I said, you can watch my 2023 review of all my journals, but it just was too many. Like I said, one of the things that I realized, I have too many journals, and one of them that I want to remove from my lineup is a brain dump, and instead I'm going to add it to the Hobonichi. So my Hobonichi, I think, is going to be just for planning and using it for brain dumps. The next journal that I have had and that I use not enough of and that I realize I will not keep separate is my Midori, and I've been using it mostly for manifestation journaling. Initially it was for daily journaling, then it became for manifestation journaling. So what do I want to change? I don't want this to be separate. So I basically want to finish this journal and put all my journaling into one instead of having a separate one. And finally, I have a black bullet journal that I use for business, and I realized that it does not work and I can't have it paper. However, how do I want to do my business planning? I'm still not sure yet. So that is a question mark, but it's not going to be physical planning. So overall, these are the main journals and planner that I've been using this year, how I've been using them, and the things that I want to change. So now you have an understanding of your current system, maybe some of your needs. Let's dive deeper and now let's figure out your specific needs based on the previous list. You can notice a pattern, maybe some ideas came up, but I want you to ask yourself, what do you want to use your journals and planners for? Is it for habits tracking? Is it for memory keeping? Is it for creative spreads? Do you want to keep your schedule organized? Is it just for journaling? What kind of journaling? Is it daily journaling, weekly journaling? Do you want to use prompts for personal development? I really want you to take a moment here to really think, what are your actual needs? The things that you think you will stick to. Historically, I mean, it's nice to think of ideas of things that you'd like to do, but if you haven't stuck to it, then maybe it isn't an actual need. So what do you actually need in your journal and planner system? And I want you to ask yourself, how much time do you actually have to spend on your journals and planners? So that, for example, if you have a need to schedule, to organize your schedule, so you need a planner, but you don't have much time, then maybe a bullet journal where you create weekly spreads or daily spreads is not the best idea because it takes time to create those spreads every single week, and maybe a planner is better. Or maybe you have plenty of time and you love the idea of planning or changing up your planner every week, then maybe a bullet journal does make sense for you. So based on everything that I just mentioned, what you looked at, I want you to ask yourself, what are your needs when it comes to your planner and journal system? So for myself, and I try to organize it so I can organize as well. So I want you to also think about what journals and planners you have that you already own and that you actually want to use. What needs do you have and what journals can you use them for? So for myself, I think at the top of the list, I think it's a bit obvious. I need it for a planner, mainly life things. I like to track my habits as well, even though I won't do a monthly habit tracker. I think a weekly one would be more effective moving forward. And finally, doing a brain dump. So if I need to dump ideas, write a random to-do list, a grocery list, having a space for a brain dump. And what makes sense to me based on what I already have, I will put all of this into my Hobonichi. So my Hobonichi cousin, I have used it for a year and now it's going to change a little bit how I'm going to use it. The next needs that I have are, I like to set goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, writing a vision, things I want to manifest, all my goals. I love doing that. I'm doing that for 6-7 years. Love it. So I want to keep that up. Now, the new thing that I want to do more is doing more creative spreads as well. And the last thing I have also been doing for years is writing down the small good memories every single day, every single week. And these three, I'm going to put them together and it makes sense to me. I'm going to put it in my A5 bullet journal, which I've also had for like the last 5, 6, 7 years. Now, the other need that I have is journaling, whether it's manifestation journaling, daily journaling, gratitude journaling, personal development journaling, general journaling. I'm going to put it all into one journal and I'm going to put it into a smaller journal, which is a new one for me and I'm excited about it. And that's a B6 journal. However, because I don't like waste, I want to first finish my Midori journal that I have not finished yet, so I'm not wasting a beautiful journal that I already have. And finally, one thing that I want to add in my lineup, which I feel really excited about, are fun creative spreads. Now, I also mentioned creative spreads here, but this is going to be a little different. I want to do spreads for my traveling. I want to do spreads for coffee. I go to coffee shops every month, at least one to 3 times. So it'd be fun to see beautiful creative spreads for that. And I want to read more and to create a reading journal. So for all of those, I haven't started using my traveler's notebook and I already have 3 inserts for them. So I'm going to put all of those into my travels notebook. So moving forward, this is going to be my system, as simple as that. Now, I'm going to summarize it a little bit more here so I can have a better idea, but this is a good way for you. The way that I had initially done it is I had put down all of my needs and all the journals that I had and I started drawing lines of what kind of made sense with what journal and putting them together and then organizing it. So now you have a better understanding of your current system, what your needs are, and what journals you might want to be using. Now it's time to actually sit down and finalize your system. Now this is not necessary if you don't want to, but I like to kind of go a little bit more in depth. So I want you to think about it logically. What makes sense for your schedule? What makes sense for your needs? What makes sense for the journals that you already have? How many journals can you actually keep up with? And what type of planner would best meet your needs? Do you need a daily planner, a weekly planner, or just a monthly calendar? Which one would be best for you? I would also encourage you to think about the journals that you already have that you can use instead of going out and buying more. Again, these are a few things that I already have and I want to make use of, like my Midori that I actually want to finish because it's a beautiful journal. So I don't want to encourage you to just spend without thinking it through. If you actually have a need for a planner, then go ahead by all means, but just be mindful of what you already have and how you can use it. So based on my needs, here is what I've came up with. I realized that I don't like having too many journals. So I had too many separate different journals for my daily journaling, and I want to have them a little bit more streamlined. That way I'm not reaching for 5 different journals in one sitting. I also want to keep all my writing journals into one. So for manifestation, weekly reflection, daily journaling, etc., everything into one journal. That way I can see the progression throughout the year, and I just feel like it's one less journal to worry about. Another thing that became clear to me is that I like keeping my journaling and my planning separately, which is why I will keep my Hobonichi Cousin just for planning, and I will have a separate journal just for journaling. But I do like having a space to have a brain dump. I wanted to remove an extra journal from my lineup, which is why I'm just going to put the brain dump journaling into my Hobonichi Cousin. I also know that I like to have a planner where I have a monthly, weekly, and daily spread with enough space to write my to-do list for my life, for my business, and for my self-care, which is why the Hobonichi Cousin should work for me moving forward. And finally, one thing that I realized this year as well is I want to include more creative journaling, which is why my Travelers notebook and having more space in my bullet journal to do creative journaling is going to be important. So here is the final product, what I'm thinking of at least starting the new year with for my journal and planner system. I talked about it quickly. I talked about it as well already, but I'm going to walk you through it quickly. I will have my Hobonichi, my A5 bullet journal. First, I will finish my Midori journal just so it doesn't go to waste, and then I will move on to the B6 journal that I have. And finally, a new one for me is a travels notebook. Hobonichi will be my habits, my brain dump, and my planner for my daily, weekly, and monthly spreads. My bullet journal will remain the same in the sense it will always be my goals, my memories, and I will do that in a more creative way, and also just like creative spreads. Finally, all my journaling will be into one. Manifestation, reflections, daily journaling, whatever I need is all going to go into one. And then finally, my travels notebook will also be my creative journaling spread, but specifically one for trips, one for coffee shops that I go to make creative spreads with it, and books as well to review them. So based on everything, this is what I've come up with so far, and I'm very excited to dive into it. I started setting up my Hobonichi Cousin. I set up my B6 already. I'm starting to set up my travels notebook. And I'm thinking in my next video, I will share with you my full 2024 planner and journal lineup with a more in-depth walkthrough of each to give you more ideas if you're still struggling in figuring out what to use your journals for, or just to give you new ideas of how you can use your journals and planner for. Let me know if you have any questions and what kind of video would help you with your journaling and planning. I want to encourage you and make it as simple as possible. I already have a lot of videos on my channel, but I want to make sure I'm answering your specific questions or struggles. I don't know if this helps. Let me know if it did. I'm very curious if it helped you figure out what your new planner system is. And if so, please let me know in the comments what is going to be in your new planner and journal system. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe as I'm trying to grow my channels. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you a lot of love. Bye for now.